Hello, welcome and welcome back to the Whole Bucket. I am Cheryl and this is Let's Make Journals. And this is the journal that we're going to work on today. This is my Valkyrie journal, and this is a collaged piece that will eventually be part of this cover. This stuff is already attached, and this will go on top of that. But I'm not entirely sure if that's all or if there will be other layers, so I haven't attached this yet. What I'd like to do today is take a look at, I've been out of touch with this particular journal for a while. It will have metal corners, so these are going to go on the corners at some point. And I have a ton of other supplies around me. What I have done is go through the journal. I have done a little bit to kind of get my head back in the game with this one. I put a pocket on here, so some simple stuff. I went through all these bits. I need to move the camera out a little bit, don't I? This is just a little too close for a big fat journal. Okay, that should work. That looks better. So these parts sticking out the top are things that I put in place that I'm planning on doing on those pages and all the way to the back. And then I did this. I put a vellum tuck over some stamping that I had on this page and put a little bit of a cluster there. Nothing else yet, although it has space for more. And then I put this giant tag in there. I think I'm going to make some changes to this tag, but this tag is also a slightly dimensional piece in that the parts of the ship are added on in different layers. So that's kind of cool. Probably hard to see on camera, but cool in, you know, when you see it directly. A 3 signature journal, and that's all we got so far. I did have a problem with some glue apparently, so I have some of my mulberry paper stuck to the back cover and to this. So it's got a hole here and it's got a hole down here. So there's some repair work to do besides just the working on the journal as a whole. I thought to continue getting my head in the game with this one, we would do these little bits that I have, big reach, that I have in place. So I got my guillotine cutter, my small one, off to the side. I don't have a big one. I only have a small guillotine, but it's a small. So it's off to the side, and we got a lopsided camera. There we go. We are no longer terribly lopsided. Whoops. Too far. There we go. No, we're lopsided this way. Oh my gosh. Oh, my camera is way too touchy. And I am way too picky. So I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to make a thin, probably 1/8 inch fold in it. And I'm going to put it over the edge of this page. So most of this will be on the next page. The reason I'm doing that is because look how wonky this page is cut. And I don't like that. If it was torn edge, it'd be fine. I thought about tearing it, but I don't want to take off any more of this stencil bit because I really like it. So then I thought of this idea. Taking this little border bit, putting it over the page just a speck, and folding it over so it is a page edge mostly on the other side. So first things first, I guess the first thing would be to measure where to cut this. And I'm gonna flip it over so I can actually see the line I make. Imagine that, being able to see the line. That won't be helpful or anything. I'm also going to move it in so I can mark the other side. If you're wondering why I care which side I mark my line on, is because on the guillotine cutter, it helps me to have my mark closer to me than closer to the top of the guillotine. And it helps me to have the larger part of the stock on the plate instead of hanging off. Those are just some tips. I don't know if they'll matter as much to you as they do to me, but try that out and see if you like it. That's all I can really say, I guess. And then we're going to, I don't know if I can get away with a 1/8 inch fold. I guess I'm going to try it. I mean, I do have more of this border if I wreck it. So I could just make another one, but I do want it as thin as I can, but a 1/4 inch seems too much. So I'm actually going to try this at 1/8. Yeah, I'm not going to do it like that. I'll get it wonky if I do it like that. Okay. There we go. Here we go. I'm just gonna, this makes me a little nervous. I don't know that this is a good idea. I don't think my microphone is picking it up because my microphone is really good at not picking up background noise, but my kitty is sleeping on a shelf that I made for my cats behind me, and he is snoring. It's so cute. Snoring away. Okay. And sure enough, I scored the wrong side. No, I didn't. Oh, I just confused myself. Never mind. Never mind. Let's see. Will that be enough? So it has to be enough to be able to glue, and it has to be enough to cover that flaw that I don't like. It is enough. It is. I don't hate it. I thought I might hate it, but I do not. Okay, so I'm going to take the book aside for a sec. I'm going to crease this down a little more. Get it nice and... Oh, I wrecked it. Of course I did. Look at, I split the paper completely. You know, when you're trying to stretch out your paper, be nice to it. Because it takes a minute to get those fibers to go the way you want them to. Okay, I will fix that when I glue it. It should be fine. I don't know if you can even see that, but down here on the bottom, let me see if I can get my nail in there. Look, I split the paper. So I could totally fix that, but I'm going to have to watch my step. Okay, so now I'm going to unfold this anyway, because I bet you already know why. If you watch my videos ever, we will be inking the edges, because I don't not ink edges. I have an inking problem, and it is not fixed. It is an ongoing issue. So I'm going to ink that little tiny edge and all the way around super fast, because I don't want you sitting here watching me ink things forever, right? That's not fun TV. And then I'm going to ink the fold. So I'll fold that back over and ink that edge as well. Okay, very cool. Oh, wait, I lied. Right there. Yeah. Okay, now I like it. Let's get some glue on this puppy and get it in place like right away. And then we will feel accomplished, won't we? I always say we because I feel like you're on this journey with me. I know it's me though. It's me. I'm responsible for if it fails. Can't blame viewers if it doesn't work. It's all you, lady. Did I get this edge? I don't know if I got this little tiny bit. And that's going to be important. Let me just slide this down and make sure it's covered. Okay. Okay. Now let's bring the book back. Ha! All right. Number 1. Wiggle that into place a bit. Wiggle the top into place. That looks pretty good, really. Okay, let's fold it over. There we go. All right. I'm going to have to fix this bottom bit later. Right now it seems like it's glued down, so that's good, but it's got this little white edge where I split that paper, and I don't like that little white speck. So I will fix that at some point. Right now, let's make sure that the glue gets spread out in good contact. Make sure there's no goopy parts coming out. We don't like goopy parts coming out of our books. I'm going to take some special care right there. Ooh, I got it a little smaller. Ooh, I got it way smaller. Oh my gosh, now there's just the tiniest little white speck. I can deal with that. Okay, so my foible is somewhat fixed. This feels like it's in good spot, and I love this little edge, and I love this edge. Ah, okay, happiness. Let's see what I had next. Okay, this book is so this book is so fresh. It doesn't open properly. It doesn't close properly. It's still so stiff. Okay, so what I had on this one is a border again, right? And I think I had it this way. Yeah, I definitely had it this way because that looks better. I had it centered, so this looks like where I wanted it centered, so this will go about here. And then I didn't like how it wasn't very wide, right? I want this to end up to be a tuck spot, so then I want this orangish brown under it, so it'll be like this somewhat. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because I want a folded edge, and because I think it's too long anyway. I'm going to have to mark this where I want to cut it so that it is centered. Okay, here's what I'll do. I will mark the center like that. I'll go with whatever the center of the design is. That's close enough. And then I'll cut it right there and right there. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and here's what we're going to do. I will make a 1/4 inch fold on this bit. Whoops, I got a little carried away. Imagine that. So let's make a 1/4 inch fold. That is just to reinforce the spot where somebody would take something in and out of the pocket. I just like that always, if I can. It's not always possible to make that really strong, right? Sometimes there's really delicate things you're doing and it needs to be a pocket, and that might happen. I'm sorry, people, it needs to be a pocket. Be careful with that pocket. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm goofy. Okay, so fold that over so it's nice and secure. And then do I like the dimensions? This is what I'm looking for now. Do I like the difference between, all right, do I like how much brown is showing? And I don't. What if I moved it like that? That's better to me. That's better to me, just like that. So I'm gonna trim the brown right here, and if it's too long for my trimmer, I'm gonna trim it right there. And I'm also gonna trim it the other direction so that it matches this piece, the fancy piece. So let's cut that right now. Actually, I could glue it all together, couldn't I? And then cut the brown. That makes sense. See, now the, oh, you can't see because I'm off screen, but the mark that I need is up away from me, and it's hard to see in there. I can see in there, and actually in my screen you can see better than in person because it's a different angle. But it's hard to make sure that you're getting it in the right spot in there. I think that's correct. Correctamundo. So I could glue this. In fact, yeah, let's do that. So again, with the edging, because it's what I do. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I got a few more minutes before I gotta go upstairs. All right, now I want the orange to be on the outside of the pocket. So I want to glue this way. Like so. Okay. I think, do I want it that way or do I want it this way? Oh my goodness. Come on, brain. Come on, brain. Decide. Do I want it this way? Or do I want it this way? Oh, good grief. I am really sorry. So this way, I like the finished product better. The pocket itself. This way, I like the color distribution better. Pulling the orangish color from this page all the way over to the edge. Good grief. You are such a weirdo. Decide. Decide. It's got to go this way. I just, okay, for as a whole, when it's done as a whole, I like it this way better. So this is what I'm doing. I'm also going to cut a little bit off of this length so that I can trim that line first, because it will help me put the strip on straighter. And I don't want to mess that up. So I just made it a little bit wider than I intended, but I'm okay with that smidge. Excellent. Excellent. That's gorgeous. That'll do. Okay, so let's get some glue on here. I really could be using glue stick right now, and maybe wanna, but I don't know why I'm not. Well, I kind of do, because I haven't pulled out my gluing pages, and I make such a mess with glue stick. It's kind of amazing, but I think I make more of a mess with glue stick than liquid glue. Not sure how I manage that, but I think I do. Okay, let's make sure that that is even all the way up and down this thingy jobber. Then trim off this extra speck. Again, with the place I need to cut farther away from me instead of closer to me, and I just don't care for that. This is why, look, I cut off a smidge of the fancy paper. I mean, that's a hair length. It's probably not going to matter, but sometimes I do more than that, and then I wreck a thing. All right, now let's incorporate the whole thing and edge the tuck spot as well. I got glue on the front here because there's glue on my fingers. And let's get this in place. So a quick run of glue in the enforcing spot. I gotta pull this closer. There we go. Like so. And then let's get this on its page. Woo! 2 things done. Come on, get to the edge, will ya? Thank you. I use the nozzle of this giant glue bottle to spread the glue as much as to put the glue on. So I just hold a tiny bit of pressure, right? So that the bead of glue stays at the top. And then I use the nozzle to basically spread glue rather than, I'm not squeezing a whole line of glue all the time, right? Okay, ready? It's always the nervousing part. Because if oh yeah, look at, I made it too short. I made it too short. I will have to fix that. I think I'll push it to the top and I'll fix the bottom. That's usually how it goes, so. I'm not sure what I'll use to fix it, but I'm certain I can. So there we go. And now is it centered? It is still centered. Okay. Is it? Hold on. Let me turn the book. All right. Maybe I have to fix the top and the bottom because, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, the glue is stuck. Okay. There's no more adjusting. Adjustments are apparently done. All right, so it's centered enough, and there's a little edge on the top and the bottom. I'll fix that. And there's a little tiny bit of page where it wasn't cut completely straight, and I'll trim that as well. But we will do that after this dries. So there is another page with a lovely tuck spot, and let's see if No, that's too tall. That's a bookmark that's going to go in this book. Isn't it cool? Oh. Let's see if maybe this card goes on this page. Who knows? Oh, that looks really cool, especially with the feathers over here. This card might go on this page. That might be a for real thing. Okay, next. Same concept, different parts. With this one, I did a much darker brown bit. This one is a copy of this. This is faded on purpose so that this is a nice writing page. And then I like the, you know, the metal or carved scroll work look with the nature look. I like combining organic with mechanic a lot. So I don't know what I intended here, because this piece is obviously not only not long enough, but what was I going to do with it? I was probably going to create another edge so that it was the same concept as the other one. But it's obviously too short. Is this the right brown? It is the right brown. Malik, you cannot be here, honey bunch. Excuse me. Move your foots. Move your foots. Thank you. Okay, I will take care of him as soon as I figure out. Maybe I just had that to figure out which brown made sense with this one. But you know what? You know what? Let's do some color choosing here, because this book has brown, black, and for neutrals it has brown and black, and for colors it has blue and orange. I don't want to accentuate the orange because there's plenty through the pages. But what if I didn't do brown on this one? What if I did black on this one? I actually like that better than the brown. And then what if I did blue on this one, which I haven't done on anything yet? And Malik's butt is in the way. I can already tell I don't like the blue. I don't like the blue. Okay. It was an idea, but I like the black. I'm going to go with black on this one. It really strengthens that iron work or carved work idea to me. And this is a much wider border piece. I don't know if it's obvious on camera or not, but you know, a third, or it's about 50% wider. So I think I'm gonna make the 1/4 inch fold again. That's a nice width for 1/4 inch is a nice width. That word. It's a nice width for that reinforcing bit. Okay, got it. I am going to glue that down right away this time, just to give it time to set while I'm working on finishing this piece. I'm kind of wondering if I should pull out the black ink for this one as well, or keep going with the brown. If I do the brown, I might be really mad at me. Because brown on black won't look great, I don't think. I'm also going to trim this because I didn't cut straight, apparently. Sorry that you're having to view kitty butt. I mean, but there it is. I mean, he's falling asleep sitting there. Gosh darn it, he's adorable, but he's so flipping needy lately. I'm not sure what the deal is. All right, I can cut this right here and have it still long enough. Now let's see if that's enough to get it in this trimmer. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to get, hold on, I'm just going to get a line here. For where this needs to be trimmed for length. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, let's make sure I'm cutting the right end. So if this is the tuck spot, and this is the decor, do I want it this away or this away? I think to make it cohesive with the page, I gotta put it this way. Because this border is internal on both of those. So I'm gonna do that. Which means I wanna take my bit off this end. So I am going to trim this right here. Okay, now look to the side. Let's trim this off properly. And then trim this little bit that just doesn't look right to me. It's hard to make sure skinny bits are straight. They just don't sit as securely. Okay. Gonna do that, and I'm gonna do a hair on the other side, a sliver, just to get that straight too. All right, we got nice straight cuts now. This is gonna go on here. I am going to do the black edging. Of course I am, because, you know, can't do brown. Can't do brown on a black background. Can't do brown when you're trying to accentuate the black on this page. Don't be ridiculous. It's got a nice black bottom already, so I'm going to just do the straight on bit like this. Straight, tipped, tipped. Straight on, just colors that core because I don't like the white core, and then I tip in a speck because I just want a hint of an outline. So then let me make sure I do this correctly. There is the fold, and the border bit needs to be toward the fold. Just like so. That will go. Haha, that rhymed. Now I'm writing poetry. Just like so, it will go. I have switched from turning everything into a song to making poetry. Not very good poetry. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Let's make sure it has contact on the whole thing and is lined up nicely. Get that smudge of glue coming out. No smudges, no extra smudges, please. And there we go. Let's trim off that extra bit and get it in the book. Ooh, we are cruising, man. Cruising. Okay, not exactly cruising, but you know, making progress. Gosh darn it. This shifted on me. Don't shift. Unallowed. Unallowed. Okay. Let's get this as the best I can. Oh, that white core is back. Look, I hate that white core business. Okay, there we go. Okay. I should get some clips down, shouldn't I? That is too much glue on that corner. I got a little carried away. Let's spread this right down. Not enough glue. There we go. Spread that out. Nice and even, Steven. Mostly even, Steven. There we go. Mostly even, Steven. Look how uneven my page is cut. That's just ridiculous. I must have had a bad hand function day. It happens. It happens entirely too often. Okay, tiny smidge too short. Oh, all right, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. It'll be perfect by the time this journal's done. I wanted it done for my very first live sale, which is coming up soon, so it's not going to be done. I thought this would be a fun one to do, to see if I could sell it. But it's got a long way to go, and I have a lot of other stuff to get done before first sale day that is much more important than this guy. So someday this will be gorgeous and done and for sale. Okay, obviously not the bird tag, but that looks pretty fabulous. Let's try this one. That actually is kind of intriguing. That tag is kind of intriguing on this page. Excuse me, Revan. Okay. A different kitty butt, but you know, it's kitty butt day. Revan, can you not be on my work, please? Thank you. Revan's kind of a moose. He's a giant cat. I mean, not like the Savannah cats, right? And not like a Manx, which is also giant. But as far as like just regular old house cat things, he's ginormous. Ah, ginormous kitty. Good grief, boy. Okay, there we go. All right, like that. Do I have anything else? I do not. All right, so it's time for planning a next step. But I feel like some flow is coming. I feel like some ideas are starting to work. All right, and it is time for me to go upstairs. In fact, I am 4 minutes late because of that last pocket, but it's okay. So I'm gonna go for a minute and I'll be back with some fresh ideas and we'll finish up for the day for this one. Okay, so we have approximately 19 minutes left. And the first thing I think I want to do is add some shading to the layers of this piece. So I got out indigo and ivory black watercolor pencils, and I'm going to try adding some watercolor to this very carefully. This is not gessoed in any way, and I do have clear gesso, right? But I'm afraid that stuff on there will get smudged and smeared, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to use as little water as possible. And oh shoot, and I'm trying to sharpen the pencil and I broke it instead. So that's kind of the opposite of what I need. So anyway, I am going to try to use as little water as possible and just get some light shading involved. And I'm not sure if I want to use black or blue or both. We'll start with blue. And if it's not doing the job, we'll get the black involved. So this is put together in very thin layers. They're just, I think they are index card, but it makes so the bird is a little raised from its background. The feather is raised from the background. I didn't do the sword. I probably kind of shoulda. So I might add some shading, more shading. It is a little shaded to the sword to make it come up more, and I might add some metallic to the sword so that, you know, the metal of it stands out. I'm also thinking of adding some real leather to where the leather straps are. Okay, so anyway, let's get started on this. Let's do the blue. Get this brush wet and get some color going. And I just want to, I need a scratch paper, don't I? I need a scratch paper. Ah, I got nothing. I got nothing, honey. Come over here. I don't know why I have such trouble grabbing one piece of paper. Okay, there we go. Oh, well, it's working. I have colored myself appropriately blue. Let's get rid of some of the excess water like that, and then get some shading right here. Like so. I'm glad I left that unglued because that helps me get that shadow right where I need it to be. Like so. Let's get some color up here. This part is glued down, which is kind of a bummer because you get that line sometimes. It looks like I'm doing a pretty good job. Oh, this is not glued. Yay! This is the whole reason for only gluing parts down to start with, because you never know when you want to be able to get under there. That's a little too harsh. Just soften it up a bit. Let's do the this tree stump thing. Oh shoot, that is just too big. Too much water. Okay. Wonder if I should just get a smaller brush for this. We need some shading. I'm not doing the whole where does the light come from. I'm doing the Zentangle thing that assumes all shading comes from directly above, or all sun comes from directly above. Okay, now I need some on the other side. I know that's not ideal and not artistically correct, but it is what I like. So it is what I do. You know? You should do the same. Whatever your art is, do what makes you happy. In art, there really isn't a right or wrong, no matter what any person or any artist, well, artists are people too, but I mean, even if they are an artist, if they tell you that's wrong, well, they're wrong, because art is what you want it to be. It's your expression. So express away. Let me soften that one up a bit. Too harsh, too harsh. Too harsh right here. Let's soften that up a bit. It's hard when I can't put a ton of water on there, right? Because usually I would, usually when I'm doing this kind of thing, I've gessoed and I can just go crazy. Can't go crazy in this case. I'm not going to know if I like the results till it dries, because the water, you know, gives its own little bit of effect. So I won't know really if it needs more, or I need to try to soften it more until after the water effect is out of it. That part is not going dark enough. Darken up. I might actually, oh here. There we go. Put a little bit of super dark right up against there. Okay, and right here, we need some down here. There's that sticky spot where it's glued down and you can't get right up against the paper. Or at least it's hard to. Look, I just did, but it's tricky, so watch for that. Okay. I think that's what I wanted to do right there. Too harsh right here. I'm going to just fade this out a bit. Too harsh right here. I'm going to fade that up a bit. like so. I still don't like this spot right here. It's just not, oh, and now the paper's too wet. It's starting to break. So I definitely need to leave that alone. Let me see if I can get it to lay back down. Oh, nope, that's actually part of the bird nest. Okay, I'll leave that. Okay, let's see what we think. Much more dramatic. I think I'm going to put a little bit of harsher line right under the bird beak. Like so. I am gonna take a white liner and put their eyes a little brighter. This guy's got a bit of a brightness on his beak. I think I will accentuate that a speck. Let's see if this guy has something we can accentuate. Kind of on his face right there, and his neck right there. Let's accentuate that. Let's do his wing a speck, like so. Let's do, I'm going to do a little bit of a drag down these 3 spots where they're highlighted and accentuate those. And how about this one too? This little curve right here. I think I'll do a pull down on this. All right, what do we think? Kind of liking the drama. I might have to do a little something to those. I don't really like what I did there. Oh, you know what I could do? Maybe I could just incorporate them a little better by scraping some color. Yep. I like that. Okay. What do we got? I think this guy's eye could be a little better. Maybe I didn't have any ink, but I do want their eye dot to be pretty distinct. I don't like the placement of it, but it's distinct. Grr. Let me do a bit of a glow here. A bit of glow here. It's got a bit here. Here. I could have done this in so many more layers than I did. I'm a little hesitant to get too much on this kind of stuff, right? I don't want to get too thick on a book cover. But I see other people do it and it's fabulous, but I'm a big chicken. So sometime I will end up, at some point I will end up doing a big thick book cover with all the mixed media pieces, I feel like. But so far, I am a chicken. Okay. Some highlights and some lowlights to kind of get this thing even more looking dimensional. And I see a spot that needs fixing right down here. Right down here is looking kind of weird. I think I'll put that in pretty heavy and then do this, which of course erases the wrong part. Why do you do that? Why? Why? You stay there. You come up. There we go. Now it looks ridiculous. Okay, well, here, I know. Get that brush pretty dry and see if I can. Nope, it erased what I wanted. Okay, I gotta learn how to do this better. But I'm gonna put that line back again. And then I'll just pull out over here. Okay, and it doesn't look any better than it did. Gosh darn it all. I really need to get this color in this edge. So I'm doing the black pencil now, which I don't know if I'll be sorry for that. I didn't even realize I was doing it until I had already done it. Now I might as well keep it up. All right, I think I'm gonna have to let that dry. Look, it's still not doing what I want, though. Boy, this is gonna be a rough spot. This is gonna be rough. I think I'm just gonna, okay. I gotta get this closer to my face, peeps. I'll be right back. Oh, I ripped it. I ripped it apart. Okay, no, not there. Get up, you. Okay, now I completely wrecked this piece. Wow, I need to back off. All right, I'm going to let that dry and then I will adjust it as necessary because right now it is definitely too much. But I think I got it. The camera is helpful. I think I got it in where I needed it. And then I'll adjust it later. Let's look at the rest of it though. How did the shading go behind the feather? I kind of like it. This line right here is entirely too obvious. So let me see if it's fadeable. Not when your hands are blue. Oh, good grief. I'm gonna wreck this thing, aren't I? I'm gonna wreck this thing if I'm not careful. Okay, there we go. That is pulling up little bits of blue. That is what I need. Just this edge right here to fade. this edge to fade. Okay, let's let that dry and see if that's better. What could I put on here for metals? So I have ash gray, but I think antiquing wax, but I think this is way too dark. And I have, what else have I got? I have metallic wax in icy glaze, and I have silver. I think the silver is too bright because it would take away the aged look. That is entirely too blue. Can you mix waxes? I don't know. I'm going to try to mix these two because this one is so dried out. Let's get some of that moving. If I remember right, I can use water to move this one. Goodness sakes. All right, I'm a little nervous about this idea. I'm going to try it on this paper over here and see what happens. Let's get some of this moving. So what happens if I take some silver and a chunk of the blue? I don't know if these will mix, and that's beeswax, so I don't know if it's gonna, what it's gonna do with the water. And I shouldn't be doing this mixing on paper. That's just plain silly, lady. Let's do it on this cover. Because honestly, I don't mind a little blue tint in my silver wax. I do realize I'm mixing in a permanent pot. Mixing a temporary color in a permanent pot, not advisable. I know at least one person who's probably like cringing at this behavior. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Okay. So there it is mixed. I kind of like that color. What does it go on like? It's a little too dark. Let's get some more silver in there. Try it again. Hasn't changed. I think it's the brush. It's the brush. I may have wrecked this brush. It is now full of beeswax. It's my Scrabble brush though, so it might not be bad. Okay, I'm going to try that on the picture now. Woo! Hold your breath, guys. I just want it to be a little bit of a transparent metallic wash. Okay, I might have to put some details back in there, but I do not hate that. Too much water, too much water, soak that up. Too much water, soak that up. Okay, I want a touch of silver in there. There we go. And I want a touch of just silver right there. Okay. Okay, I like it. I need a tiny bit more silver. Let's see if I can clean this brush a little. I can't believe I filled my brush with beeswax. That was an interesting choice. So I want to get that silver a little more right here. There we go. That's more like what I was thinking. Let's do that with the line then too. Okay. I should probably stop fussing with this pretty soon because I'm gonna wreck it. Just stop, girl. I think I'll stop right there, except for I'll stop this stage. I'm going to add a little bit of the line detail back in with a liner pen. And the one I want to use needs to be replaced. So I will use an 01 instead of an 005. But I will not be happy about it. But I do need this line redefined because some of the silver crossed it and is kind of muddying up my sword. Valkyrie are often depicted with swords, which is why I don't mind this on the cover. But specialists in folklore think it's far more likely that the Valkyrie were originally depicted with spears. So I have a spear laced into the spine of this journal. There we go. I'm going to leave it like that for a while. I'm going to ponder this art, and who knows where it will continue. Definitely have to fix this corner, but other than that, I like the progress. Tell me what you like or don't like. Tell me what you see. Tell me any ideas. Did I go overtime? I went overtime, way over. Oh, goodness sake. Oh, well, it's okay. I'm going to end it here anyway, but look here. There is the, that's actually a metal spear. An actual metal spear. Okay, it's miniature, but it is an actual spear. Sewn into the spine of the journal. Ha! I love that. Okay, so, goodness sakes. What a mess I made here. Let's just put this back here. And we'll put this right here again to hold that kind of level for the camera. All right, there's what we did so far. We made a bunch of tuck spots and did some work on the cover art. adding some dimension and some glitter highlights. See you next time on Let's Make Journals. Whole Bucket and Cheryl, please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. I appreciate it. Bunches and bunches. Thanks. Bye.